right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I like it. It looks great.
So you know that's how your trunk's going to look.
Yeah.
You know, for that's a spare cluster down here.
Yeah. Is that the one that came out of the car?
No, this no, yeah, that's the one that came out of the car. Okay,
Yeah, with this motor.
with that motor. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the VIN number on the back of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I need that for anything?
Well, if you want to troubleshoot,
Okay.
if it's doing something, then you unplug in here
Mm-hmm.
and you plug that in.
Oh, okay.
But you always keep the car running,
Okay.
or you always have one of those plugged in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
and these are all your blankets
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that we had.
Car covers, probably got those for me.
Yeah. So
I got to put that one little clip on here that I didn't get around
I
to.
I did it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all done. For all the cables and all that's put back together.
Wow.
Your jack is in there
Yeah.
the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
There's under that cover. There's a little button you can see up in there.
Yeah.
It's a snap.
Okay.
Okay. There's some relays and whatever.
Okay.
That's your key, right?
Yeah.
That's your other key. Those are some bushings. Those bushings are if you want to go back to your stock brakes because we drilled out for 12 millimeter.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
those are 10 to 12 millimeter for you can put the stock X19 brakes back on.
Okay.
But you have to put that in the hole because we had to open the
Yeah. Yeah.
the stabs on the what do you call it?
Yeah.
On the brake system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now for the car to run, you don't need that, but you have to put that in there.
Oh, in here?
Yeah, it has to be in there. ECU needs to see. Just push it in. That's it. It has to sit there.
Can it stay there, or do you need to take it out?
I think you can leave it in there. I don't know if the ECU though sees it and it might want to try to drag the battery down because it's saying it's waiting for a crank.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you can leave it in. You know, if you're going to leave it in there and walk away with the key, that's not a problem. But if you're going to park the car for,
A month?
yeah, I would. What I do, I just leave mine sitting up on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. It looks wonderful. You did a hell of a job on this.
Yeah. Just remember, hell comes in different colors,
All these here, oh, that was for the antenna.
Yeah, so that's all sitting there.
Wow. This is wonderful.
So then, there's your
Oh, yeah.
your engine. Your level should be right about there, okay?
Yeah.
Because remember, we got a smaller expansion tank than what is on the X19.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make it too big because then there's no place for it to expand to.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that something?
And then we were talking about, if you look just here, there's a stainless steel bracket.
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
There's a fuel pump regulator, all right?
Yeah.
And then just look just below it, you're going to see a fuel filter. It's black,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all right?
Yeah. So it's already set for the pressure or whatever?
Yeah, so when the engine gets shut down, it bleeds off. But when
Yeah.
you put the key in and you crank it, you're going to hear the pump kick in and the pressure's going to come up, and you go from there. Now, the only thing I was telling you about was some interference,
Yeah.
okay? What happens is this here, it rests on here. Remember I was telling you?
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't have the cover on it, but then it kind of looks, it looks like an engine that's busy, but
Yeah.
the idea was we wanted to try to keep that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, you said, do you want to, we'll cut it. Well, do you want to hack a hole through here?
No, I'd rather not.
So I said, why don't we just live with it for now?
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, it closes, right?
yeah, we'll pull it down. You got to give it a bit of a snap, but it's the spring that gets touching it. Just give it a.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfect.
Well, I don't know. I'm just letting you know. Like, you know, later on, if you say, hey, there's a little groove getting worn in here.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. If a person can't live with that, they need to go someplace else.
So, and
That's what I say.
and then, okay, what I was going to do here. Well, we don't have a roof on. Just stay there for a second. I'll just turn the key in and I'll show you how that third brake light works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Now I didn't blacken the side here. You see here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You might find that annoying. I don't know, you know. But I thought it looked kind of neat.
No, I like it. No, I like that.
Temperature.
Intercooler.
So that's going to give you your plenum temperature. So it's just a water gauge, but there's a well in the plenum just after the intercoolers before it goes into the plenum.
Yeah.
Between the throttle plate and the intercoolers. So that will give you your temperature. So if you're pushing a car, you're going to see it come up.
So at what temperature do you want to not push it?
Well, usually somewhere around 160 to 170 degrees, the engine starts pulling back to protect itself.
Oh.
Okay, so if you're, you know, and it depends on the day too. You're on a 70-degree day, it probably won't even move much, and if it does, it'll recover relatively quickly.
Yeah. So can we start it or no?
Oh yeah, you got to put your foot to the floor on the clutch, and normally turn the key, make sure all your gauges come up and operate, and then you just crank it. So you give it, when you turn the key on, what's going to happen is you're going to hear the fuel pump kick in, and so you're priming all your injectors.
Yeah.
And then you just crank it and you'll be good.
So the clutch is a little bit more stiffer than an X19.
Yeah, well, it's a dual mass clutch. It's a heavier clutch in it.
Is it?
Yeah, than what's in the X19 for sure.
I'm scared. Don't be scared.
Just crank it. That's as simple and as complicated as it gets. This car will run until you run out of fuel. So you got your which one's that? You see how high the oil is?
Yeah.
It's up to like 80-90 pounds when the oil is thin. You're showing your vacuum. Okay. What's that? Yeah, see where the needle is now?
Yeah.
It's where pretty much you can turn stuff on. It'll go down a little bit, but I've never seen it lower than the 9 o'clock. Give her a hit.
That's nice.
Oh, it you know, is it as loud as I thought it would be? No.
It's a nice loud.
Oh, it's got a beautiful throaty sound to it. Well, yeah, you're gonna hear we don't have this closed up yet, so
Yeah.
okay. And there's your if we go back down into here, you know from Back to the Future and the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now the sport mode's not engaged. So if we flip that on, okay, what it's doing is it's giving the engine a chance to start if it's to establish. And there you go. Now it's in sport mode.
Sport mode?
Yeah, it's your sport mode. Now with the switch up, every time you start the car, it will do that countdown sequence. but it will be in sport mode.
I want it in sport mode all the time.
Well, I know, but you know, I said to you, if you ever get on a wet, slick day, or maybe you got into some ice, you might not want those sport modes.
Maybe we should put like a magic marker, the S at the top and the NS at the bottom.
I think you'll remember a switch up and down. Horny board.
Do the windows work?
Go ahead. I found because the engine, the voltage was better, they seem to be faster.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow. This is absolutely amazing.
Well, when you take a look at where it was from and where we had it, and then I'm just going to open the door a bit because we got. So Bob's looking at his car, and he came up from Kentucky, and we have an ice storm is what we have everywhere, and he made it here, but things are a mess. Like, look at all the icicles on there. Now, there's no smoke coming out of the exhaust at all now?
None?
No. I told you, that was a turbocharger issue.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it had thrown all that oil into it. And I have a couple of videos on YouTube about that.
Yeah,
But
I looked at those.
but once it all got done, so now you should feel just like you're back in the UE. You got all these gauges to look at.
Yeah. Shoot, yeah. Are these lights here supposed to be on when it's... I thought those come on with when you turn the headlights
I
on.
tied them into the control, so they tend to be on. They're going to be on all the time right now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but if you take a look at your AC system, I got all the lights in here working as well.
Okay.
So I didn't set your clock again because I had the battery disconnected the other day.
Yeah.
I was doing that electrical work.
So if I turn on the AC, it'll work?
Oh yeah,
Can I do that?
sure. Start it up.
The AC comes out down here and
I can feel something blowing over here. Yeah.
well, that's nice.
Well, it's winter though too, but
So does the defrost and all that stuff work? You said you gotta play with that.
yeah, we can. I'll show you later on how to get it to go if you want to heat.
Wow.
It's nice though, you know. You just turn the key and it starts.
Yeah.
You don't. It's weird. You know. You always.
The way a car ought to be.
Well, I know, but you know all the messing around we used to do with chokes that were either manual choke or then they came with automatic choke that didn't want to work. It was just a pain.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted back to the stock X19 key.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's right.
And we, I was looking at the,
All this is fitting in here
yeah,
good.
exactly. All that goes back in. Now, apparently, if you had the shifter that Matt Brannon makes, you can't. You have to relocate your power window buttons.
Really?
Yeah. This fella that's doing that red Delara with the K24,
Yeah.
he's got that shifter, but he says, well, because of the shifter, I have to relocate that. So we didn't have to do that.
I got the rubber thing goes on
The
there.
boot,
I got
yeah, the
that.
boot's in the bin there. Well, I figured there's no sense putting it on because we got to
No.
put the carpet back in.
No.
But the shifter boot, yeah, we did that as well.
Wow.
So, and you can see now.